Hello guys, welcome back. As you can see that this PPT is named as data types and variables, but we haven't discussed about variable set. Don't worry guys, we will continue in this lecture. So, what are variables? Variables are the containers to hold data. So basically a storage area, that is variables are the symbolic representation of a memory location. In the last lecture, we have seen that the user has entered an ATM pin. Okay, the user has entered. It's okay. It is visible on the screen, but it has to be stored. There comes variables. Variables are the containers to store that data. Okay, so there are some rules for the variables. Like variables cannot be keywords, variables do not start with a number, variables do not start with any special characters, variables do not contain any special characters except underscore. Variables may not have both upper and lowercase letters. Don't worry, we'll see each and every rule in detail in this lecture. So let's go back to our Dev C++. And in the last program, we have written %d here. Okay, so what does this %d means? See guys, if we want to store any integer values, if we want to store any, scan any integer values represented by %d. The same way, character values represents by %c. Okay. Next, float values. Yes, %f. Right. So integers. Integer values represented by %d. Since we have entered an integer value in the output, we have taken it as %d. For example, if we want to scan a float value, then we will give %f instead of %d. Okay guys, I hope you get cleared what does %d, %c and %f, what does this mean. So guys, you need to remember all these things. If we want to scan an integer value, we have to use %d. If we want to scan a character value, we have to give %c in the scanf, and if we want to scan a float values, we have to give %f. Okay, the only way is to remember. Okay, I hope you cleared what %d means now. Okay, so coming back to our variables, the concept of variables. Okay, variables are nothing but, as I already told you, variables are the containers to hold data. Here we are scanning, but we are not holding it. Okay, so we have to declare a number here. So for example, if we want to declare a number, declare an integer, okay, int is for integers. As we already told in the PPTs, int is for integers, and we have to name it num. Yeah, we can name it as num. You can name it anything you want. Okay, there is no issues. Num, or you can type your name, or you can type anything you want, bzhsj. We can take anything here. I am giving as int num. Okay, so there are some rules to define these variables. Num is an user defined variable now. So there are some rules, set of rules, like we cannot start the variable with a numerical value. You see, 5num is not a correct variable. we have to give num. We can give numbers after the alphabets or in between the alphabets, anywhere, but you cannot start the variable with a number first thing. And the variables do not contain any special characters. This is an invalid variable. This is an invalid variable, or this is an invalid variable. You cannot start or you cannot keep any special characters inside the name of a variable. Okay, the only special character we can use is underscore. We can use underscore. Okay, num underscore 1. Yeah, you can take this. This is a variable that is accepted by the C compiler. Okay, so variables do not start with any numerical value. Variables can start with alphabetical values, both uppercase and as well as lowercase. No issues with that. But a variable do not contain a special character. A variable may contain only underscore. Except underscore, no other special characters should be given to the name of the variable. Okay then, so we want to store this variable. So we have defined it as integer, so we have to use it only for integers. Okay, in printf I have written please enter your ATM pin, and since I had written scanf %d, the user can enter a value, but we are not storing it. We want to store inside, we want to store it in num1. Since this is an integer, we have given %d. As you can remember, %d is used for integers. So here scanf %d comma ampersand num underscore 1. This symbol is called ampersand. Okay, so ampersand is used before we write this integer. Okay, wherever we write this ampersand, the data gets stored. It means it is an address. Ampersand means address. So it is the entered value 9654 in the output window gets entered into this address. Okay, this is a memory address. So if we scan this, if we compile this, I mean, enter your ATM pin. What is my ATM pin? 9654, enter. So our program gets terminated if we press any key now. Okay, so how can we know whether the 9654 entered value gets stored or not? See now what I will do. Printf the entered pin is, the entered pin is, what he has entered, an integer value, so %d. Okay, comma, what is this %d, where is it stored? In num1 it is stored, so we are going to write here num1. Simple. Whatever we write inside the printf, it gets printed exactly in the output screen. So what happens when we execute this? What happens when we execute this? It will search for main function. Yeah, here is the main function, and it will go inside. It will go inside and see what we have written here. In this line it is commented, so the compiler will not read this line. We already discussed this concept in the commenting section. So it comes to line 5 and see int num1. Oh, okay, then num1 is an integer. The user has defined num1 as an integer. It understands, and then it will immediately print this. Since whatever we write inside this, it will directly print in the output. So inside the printf, please enter your ATM pin, it will directly print in the output screen. and then it is scanning %d. So user can enter a number, and since we have given ampersand num1, the entered value will be stored here. Okay, and again it will come to this line and printf, so it will print this, the entered pin is, and it reads %d. So what does %d mean? As I already told you, %d means an integer, comma num1. Okay, what is num1? Num1 is an integer. Where is num1 used in this code? Here it is stored this value, so the stored value gets printed in place of %d. Okay, if I am going to execute this, so here is an error. The error here is we have declared it as num_1 and we have given num1 in the printf screen. See, these are the very silly mistakes we do while programming. We will get rid of these errors in the future. See here in the compiler window, it is saying num1 was not declared in the scope. Yeah, you cannot see, like you declared num_1, but you have given num1 here. So we changed it to num_1 and we will get compiled it again. Now you can see it is asking to enter your ATM pin. 9654 is the ATM pin. 654. Enter. The entered pin is 9654. You can see whatever I entered here, it will come here. Not only 9654, we can give any number now. See, 3546. Okay, enter. You can see the entered pin is 3546. So what does this mean? The entered value is storing somewhere in the program. And where is it storing? It is storing in num_1. Why? Because we have given ampersand symbol here. Ampersand means address. The address of num1 is storing the entered 9654 value. And whenever we print the num1, it is showing what is the value inside that address. It may be a little confusing, but try to practice more and more so that you will understand and feel easy while doing the complex programming also. So no need to worry about anything, since this is your first programming and this is your basic programming and you are coding for the first time. It is okay to get lost somewhere, but practice more and more and more and more. Try to write the code and erase it, and again write it, erase it, and you practice in this way so that it will get registered in your brain. Okay, all this here is to get remembered. Like I told you, what is %d? It is the simple representation for integer. %f for float, %c for char. You have to remember all this. So the only way to remember is to get more practiced. Okay guys, so we'll meet in next lecture. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.